if you're gonna buy a new construction home, make sure you get a home inspector so that someone is there to check the house as it's being built through each phase, because you're not going to be there all the time, and you need someone who knows what they're doing and someone who can talk to the tradespeople or the builder to get the things done properly, because they do make mistakes. So we're going to start at the front door, which is right behind me. I'm going to show you the strike plate. For those of you who don't know what a strike plate is, this right here is a strike plate. And this screw is, I don't know who put the door in, but there's not a lot of wood. In there. The original screw was really skinny and small, and it actually was coming out. So I managed to find a screw that was just a little bit bigger, and I put it in there until it was snug, and it was holding, but now it looks like it's starting to wear out again, so I gotta try to figure out how to fix that. I've never done that before. In this bathroom, the toilet is crooked. Then we come into the living room, and on the ceiling, you can actually kind of see it, I think. You look like right here, and then over there, maybe. There was two straight line cracks that went all the way across the ceiling. I don't remember where they ended. I think they ended somewhere over in this area. But they were drywall cracks. Straight lines, not settlement cracks, drywall. They had people come in, and in one day, these 2 or 3 dudes came in, cut all the ceiling out, and put it all back together, and then they left in one day. They didn't let anything dry. They didn't let anything cure. Nothing. It looked like melted candle wax in the ceiling. It was really hard to explain. It looked like an optical illusion. The way it was like warped. The ceiling was flat, and then all of a sudden there was like this weird like warp, and then it was flat. So they had to come in. They had to do that twice. They did it the first time, and then later on, after we told the builder, we were still under warranty at the time. We told the builder, we're like, hey, this looks bad. Are you guys gonna fix this? Like, what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, we'll fix that. And then they had another team come in, and they were here for a whole week. A whole week. Doing it over again. And there's more of that. I'll show you another spot in a second. But there's other little things that you're gonna notice when you start living somewhere after you buy it. Some people probably will never notice because they don't care. But if you have an eye for things, like you're gonna notice stuff like that right there, the little piece and the gap. And then other things you'll notice is gaps. You can't really see that on the camera. Maybe you can see it. There's a gap there. This side's kind of even in the center, and I learned this. I did cabinets for a little while, a very short time. This is uneven. That's not level. That's off. It's level at the bottom, and then as it goes up, it spaces out. I was with Drewski and we were at the bank, and he was looking at all the panels and everything that had been put in, and he's like, "Look at this." He's like, "This is off. That's uneven. That's coming apart. All this." And I'm standing there looking at him, thinking, "How the hell did you notice all of that?" But you know, he's been doing it for 20 years. That's what he does. He has an eye for that stuff. He sees it. So over here on this side, they had someone come in, same thing. They did it all in one day. It didn't dry, didn't set, didn't cure, nothing. And now we have giant cracks here. And this is their work. This is their work, not warranty. This is them saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll have someone come in and fix it." And it didn't get, it's still messed up. So now we have that. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to do that too, I guess. And we also had these same cracks like up on the ceiling. You can't see where they were, but they were up there. So we had two down here, one on this wall. We had some up here. I think we had some in every single bedroom, these straight line drywall cracks. And then also another thing I noticed, like I'm not totally sure what happened right here. $600,000. And then in this bathroom, this light right here burned out. I had to replace that light, which we then had to figure out which breakers were for whatever rooms up here, because they're not properly labeled. And since that happened, somehow this broke. And then here in the master bedroom, I'm not entirely sure what went on really on the other side of the house, because I don't go over there too often. On this part of the wall, I'm trying to maintain privacy. So, but they had to cut a giant square out of the wall, and then they had to do something, and then they put it back. Oh, another thing in the laundry room. Here in the laundry room, where is right there? The exhaust for the dryer, that wasn't hooked up properly. That could have been the dryer install people, but the way they put the pipe in, there's a pipe that comes out of the wall right there. The way they put it in, it was angled against the wall. So it made it really difficult to try to get that aluminum piece around that pipe, because it was angled wrong. It wasn't straight down. It was angled to the side. And then they didn't put the proper exhaust on the roof that vents out the hot air. It wasn't the right size or length or something, which kept tripping an error on the dryer. So it was a pain in the ass to try to use the dryer, because sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. So they had to go up there and they had to fix that. We also had someone come over with a drone and we had some cracked tiles up there they didn't tell us about. They had to fix that. And the one thing that I noticed the most, because this is the master bedroom, this is where I am all the time. The thing I realized about new construction houses is that the builders aren't going to spend any more money than what they need to spend. It seems like they're trying to do a lot with a very small amount of materials. And also, they're not building houses necessarily to house people. That's what they're for. But they're building them to be sold. So they have to look nice. They have to have that look. Everything needs to be nice and clean and neat on the inside. Which means this is the shower in the master bedroom. If you can see this very thin line of caulking or sealant that they used, and it's the same thing over here. That was the same style sealant that they had all along the bottom of the shell. This is what I did. This is my caulking. It's my first time doing it, so it's not 100% perfect. But there's no water getting past that, right? Because that little thin bead was the same thing that was down here, and it started coming off. I had to scrape it all out. I got a plastic putty knife, and I scraped all of it out. I put a fan in there for 24 hours. I moved it around to try to dry out as much moisture as possible. And then I resealed it and then let it sit for like 12 hours. And it's been fine ever since. The same thing is happening. I should have left this alone, but I started scraping. I mean, I guess you can kind of see like right here. The same thing is happening with this sink over on this side. Oh, there we go. See how it's peeling away? So now I got to redo that. So I got some of that. Another thing I noticed that I've never noticed in any house before, and I don't know if this is normal or this is the new thing or this is just how it's been. The floor might be a little bit dirty, so don't judge me. But there's a gap. There's gaps everywhere. And since they're doing all this construction and everything, and the construction's a little bit further away, but right now they're shaping the land. They have all the heavy machinery. They're moving all the dirt around. Like there's field mice everywhere. There's like 7 hawks in the sky the other day, flying around, just getting all the mice. There's been snakes. We have grasshoppers, praying mantises, hella frogs. Like wildlife is trying to find a place to go because their home and where they've been living is just being destroyed. And the thing I've noticed is the amount of beetles and earwigs that have been crawling out from underneath these spaces. I don't know where the hell they're coming from or how they're getting into the walls. That's a whole another thing. I have no idea. But those gaps have always bothered me. There's one more crack right there. If you can see, I think it's right here. There's a very small crack. Right there. It hasn't gotten any bigger, but that's what they look like. They're straight line cracks, but they went a lot further. So, as I said, if you're gonna buy a brand new construction home, expect things to wear out and stop working within the first 2 years. If you have a man, if you are a man, then you're gonna be just fine. If you're a woman and you have a man, he better know how to use a screwdriver. He better know how to use some sealant and a putty knife. You're gonna have to dig too. I just wanted to share pretty much 2 years in a brand new construction house, and expect things to break, expect things to stop working, expect things to be repaired, to need repair. It'd be a great time for you to learn how to do some stuff. If you don't know how, definitely get a home inspector. Be ready to learn.